Hello everyone, welcome to William in the Magic Box. Today on our show, we are going to have Bradley. Bradley is from Coventry in England, in the UK. So let's see what Bradley has to say. Enjoy the interview. So hello Bradley, how are you?
I am very good, thank you. How are you?
Very well. Thanks for taking the time this afternoon, this evening for the interview. Thank you.
Yeah, pleasure, man. I appreciate you having me on.
So tell me, how's your day going so far?
It's good. So I've done some shopping to get some food in. I've done some meal prepping. I've done so I do jiu-jitsu, so I've done that this morning as well.
Actually, I was checking your profile a little bit. I could see you on your stories. You're doing jiu-jitsu.
Do you do any yourself? You're Brazilian, right?
I'm from Brazil, yes. Actually, I never done it before. However, I grew up, heard about jiu-jitsu like forever because it's very big in Brazil. I'm sure you know that.
For sure, yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah. And how long have you been doing jiu-jitsu for?
About three years now. The last year has been on and off with business taking my time,
Mhm.
injuries, illnesses. So the first 2 years I was hammering it, and then the last year or so it's been on and off. So I'm hoping to get back to it more now.
Tell me where you're from, Bradley.
From Coventry, if you know where that is.
Yes, I've heard. I've never been, but I've heard it.
Oh, nice.
Born and
Okay, so
raised?
it's in Birmingham.
Okay, born and raised?
Yeah, born and raised. Yeah.
So tell me something interesting about your hometown.
It's not a very interesting town. um, the most interesting thing is during, I don't know which World War, but Coventry used to manufacture a lot of the tanks. So when, I think it was the Second World War, when we got bombed, it was Coventry that got bombed first. So
Okay.
everyone knows that the Blitz absolutely destroyed the city. So a lot of our buildings now they were built very quickly after the war just to get buildings back up. So everything is kind of like concrete and grey and miserable. Yeah.
How far are you from London?
About 2 hours away. We're pretty much slap bang in the middle of England. Um, yeah,
I
there's
see.
a place up in, what's it called? Uh, if you know Meriden, so Meriden is the centre of England, and they have an actual signpost that says like this is the center of the country, this many miles to different cities.
I see. And what do you do for work, for living, Bradley?
So I've just moved from being a personal trainer to being a fully online fitness coach.
So let's start the interview talking a little bit more about your career. So tell me when the opportunities came along for you to become an online coach.
So I I used to be a butcher. Um, I came out of university, went and did a little bit of traveling, and then just settled into the butcher role because my dad's a butcher. So I thought I'll pick up like the family skill. Seems like a pretty good skill to have. And then I did that for probably 3, 4, maybe 5 years. And it got to the point where, like, day after day, things were the same. I kind of got as good as I could have being a butcher, and I didn't really see any more progression. And I wanted fulfillment from what I was doing. And I've loved health and fitness since I was in uni, and I wanted to marry that with like having some sort of fulfillment. So I thought, right, let's become a PT because even if I'm broke, as I won't swear, but even if I'm broke, then it means that I'm at least benefiting other people with my life.
Right. And that's how everything started.
Yeah, I actually got started at the start of 2020, like 3 months, literally January 2020. And then in March, we had COVID and everything shut down. And I was like, what am I going to do?
Yeah, I think during this time, I remember at this time, a lot of people, some people, they start new business, some people, they start a new career, and suddenly the world went upside down. I think
Yeah,
that was a moment to, very challenging for sure. Amazing.
yeah, 100%.
Okay, Bradley, so during the interview, I'm going to explore a bit more about your life and also about your journey so far, okay?
Yeah, sounds good.
Are you ready to go on a beautiful journey through memories in life and share your point of views?
I am.
Amazing. Welcome to William and the Magic Box. So I have here my best friend. round of fun questions. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to play a song just for us to relax before the first question, okay?
Okay, cool.
Let's do it. Right, so before we start the game, during the journey, if it comes up a question that you don't want to talk about, you don't want to answer, always can change, okay?
Cool.
Amazing. First question is, what's your funniest memory or your memory and your time at school that you're never going to forget?
Ooh, funniest memory at school. It's funny looking back on it, but when I was really young, I think like year 7, year 8, I was like 12 years old. We thought it'd be funny to knock on some windows and run away, not realizing it was the teacher's staff room that we were knocking on. Yeah, so when we got caught, I was obviously, as a kid, the first time I got like actually told off, I was distraught. I was like, don't tell my parents. Yeah, looking back on that, was probably the stupidest thing I've done.
Did you like school growing up?
Yes and no. I didn't really enjoy learning that much while I was in school, whereas now that I've left, I really do enjoy learning lots of new things. I don't know why, like maybe just because it was like forced upon me and like we had to go to school, that sort of thing. But I more enjoyed it just for going and seeing friends and all the breaks and stuff. Yeah.
Who was your favorite teacher, if you had any at the time?
I probably didn't have one. Honestly, yeah. It's not that they weren't good, but there were none that like, because I didn't really want to be in school in the first place, there were none that I connected that well with. If I had to choose one, it would probably have been my math teacher, just because he was straightforward, easy to get on with. Yeah.
And you have siblings as well, Bradley, or you are the only child?
Yeah, I've got one younger sister.
I see. Okay. Next question. Let's do it. Okay, Bradley from Coventry in England. Right. Describe yourself in one positive and one negative word only.
Ooh. Positive, I would say grateful. Negative, stubborn.
Saying that, what's the biggest joy of being you? What do you like the most about being Bradley?
I think just my work, like the fulfillment that I have being able to do what I do. Like, I know not a lot of people in the world have a job that they enjoy and they get to Sunday and they can't wait to, go to work on Monday. So definitely that.
And why is that? Did you always have this personality of being grateful?
I think it was drilled into me. So my dad used to say a lot, and this is probably like some minor trauma, to be honest. My dad always used to be like, "Oh, you kids are so ungrateful." So I kind of spun that and just made sure that I was never that person who is ungrateful for anything. Anytime there was something even minor, like I've had so many moments where something in life happens and then I just think, well, things could be so much worse. Like my car could break down and I'd sit there. My car actually broke down a few years ago, and I sat on the side of the road and it was a bank holiday Friday, and I waited for like 4 hours for someone to come pick me up. And I got out and I started doing some work on my phone on the side of the road, and then it started raining, and I just smiled because I was like, there's worse things in the world that could happen. Like, yeah.
I get your point. I've been in situations as well that you go like, you know what, there's nothing I can do right now. You know what I mean? It's not up to me anymore. So what can I do? And something happened. Literally, I was the same. I was smiling. I was like, okay, what can get worse now? And you make a joke of it. And I think that's a way of you playing a little bit of your ego, your personality, not playing, but like understand yourself a little bit better. And I think puts you in a place where, whatever you do, whatever you can give your best, but sometimes it's not just up to you. Everything needs to work at the same time for things to happen.
Yeah,
You know,
100%. And I think that annoys my girlfriend sometimes because she'll be like, "This has happened," and I'm like, "Is it the end of the world?" No.
and so which person in your life, right this moment, you feel more connected with or more close to?
You know what? Probably my mum or my sister. Yeah.
Why is that? What do you think right now in your life you are very close to them?
Um, so me and my sister didn't used to get along when we were teenagers, and then
Mhm.
since I went to uni and then came back, we both kind of matured and we've become a lot closer. Um, and just because their family, like, they're always going to be there. They've been there through various different experiences. So if it's not them, then I wouldn't know who else. Yeah.
Okay, so your mom is watching this interview right now, and you have a moment, an opportunity to send her a message. What would you say? She's watching.
Oh, I was going to be really cheeky then, but I'll refrain.
You can. You can be cheeky, you can be serious.
Okay, cheeky. I would be like, Mum, can you make me that lasagna? That my favorite lasagna. That'd be great, please. Uh, Serious. I am just very grateful for having not just my mum, my sister, my dad, as my
Hmm.
family. Like, for all the things that you guys have done for me, for all the things that I've been through, and you guys have been there. I'm just eternally grateful.
Amazing. And a lasagna in the end of the meeting.
Okay.
Next question. Okay, so before the next question, let's talk about your career as online fitness coach. So tell me, what do you like the most about it? What's the biggest joy of you, when you are, performing your career, performing your passion? What do you like the most about it?
So, two senses. One, the fulfillment that I get from seeing someone achieve something, like, just completely transform their life, like go from the identity that they had before, whether it's disliking the gym, having certain coping mechanisms through like alcohol or smoking or whatever, to then becoming like a completely new person where they're so much healthier, they have better coping mechanisms, they're doing things that they never thought were possible. Um, that aspect, and also the aspect of, we spoke about stuff that's intellectually stimulating with jiu-jitsu. The
Hmm.
that like business as a whole is just a bit of a game, and it's like, how far can we get in that game?
And the flip side, what do you find most challenging about your career?
Ooh. The most challenging is the psychological element to coaching someone through behaviors. Um, because it's, I wish it was just as simple as, right, this is how you perform this exercise, this is what you need to eat for food. But coaching people through behavior change is one of the most interesting aspects, because I didn't realize how much of it played a part before I started coaching. But also one of the most challenging, because you've got to treat everyone so individual with how you're then going to help them with changing their behaviors.
Most of your clients, they are more females or males?
More males. I think about 90%, if not a bit more, of males.
I see. Okay. Next question is, what things do you consider to be relationship deal breakers?
Ooh. This is a good one. If the missus is listening, then good. um, I would say it's more. So for me, someone has to be. Someone has to have similar values to me for it to
Hmm.
be worth us having a relationship. Um, so outside of those values, of like, top three for me are communication, honesty and trust, which all kind of tie into each other. They're kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
And respect. So it's matching those values. If they don't match those values, then at some point along the line, I feel like things just wouldn't work. So there's no point in pursuing it.
And how did you path cross with your missus?
We just met on an app on Hinge.
I see. And so far, what has been the most meaningful lesson you've learned from her?
The most meaningful lesson, I think I need to be more, I need to show my appreciation for people more. Like like, she's very caring with her friends. She's very thoughtful. Like, I need to be more thoughtful, more caring with the people in my life.
See. All right. Next question, ready?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Next one. Hey, Bradley. Next question is, what's the biggest risk have you ever taken?
Biggest risk. Either starting my business, especially in the year of COVID, or I went traveling for 3 months, and that was a bit of a risk just because, don't know, bit scared being like, it's worrying being out of where you're like comfortable and safe, right?
And where were you traveling for 3 months?
Near Brazil. So I went to Peru, Bolivia, and Chile. I wish I could have done more, but by the time we got to Chile, and Chile's expensive, we were just running out of money.
I can't believe you love jiu-jitsu and you didn't manage to go to Brazil. It's not fair.
I know. It's a shame. It's such a shame.
Tell me something. When you think about life, what's the meaning of life for you?
That's a deep question, man. Jesus. For me, I think the meaning of life is finding your purpose. Like, what is it that you can give back to the world in your time on it? I know Jimmy Carr's got what's the famous one that Jimmy Carr has? He says, like, to enjoy the passage of time, which I think is a really, like, I resonate with that. But I think for us to enjoy our passage of time, we need to have some sort of purpose that we're working towards.
Tell me a life lesson that life has taught you that you feel very grateful for.
Ooh. A life lesson is, that's a tricky one. If anything, it would be something like more related to business. If you think that you're doing enough, you're probably not. It's just that you're not very efficient at it. So an example of this, a friend of mine went and handed out a couple hundred leaflets, and then he went and spoke to his mentor, and his mentor was like, "Oh, you've only handed out a couple hundred. Like, when I was PTing, I was handing out thousands." And it was kind of just that mindset shift of, okay, what you think is enough is probably not enough, and you need to do a lot more.
That's a good one. Actually, I like that. And sometimes it makes sense because sometimes you think, oh, I'm doing a lot, I'm doing much. But actually, are you really? You know what I mean? Sometimes we need to challenge ourselves to this moment when you go like, okay, I'm working hard, but maybe I could do harder. Or maybe, you know what I mean? Am I perform in a way that, that I could give more of myself for it to put more energy in there, if you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. And you don't realize that it's not enough until someone else comes along and says that they're doing more, and you're like, oh, okay, that's what it takes. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's funny as well, because sometimes I can hear people around me moaning about, oh my God, they kind of moan about things they're doing, and I go like, oh my God, I'm doing the double of it, and I'm happy about it. So I feel growth sometimes, you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I completely get that.
Yeah. Sometimes, my routine, I'm an early bird. I love waking up very early. And sometimes when I tell people, oh, I wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning today, they're like, oh my God, 4 o'clock in the morning, how is possible? And I go like, why not? What's wrong with that? You know what I mean? Why, you know what I mean? So sometimes it makes me feel good about it. Okay, actually, I think I'm doing a lot.
Yeah, yeah, 100%.
Next question. Okay, next question for you is, when have you been the most happy?
When I was traveling, I think, because I just didn't have. So when we got into Sucre in Bolivia, there was a few days where we just were like, right, I think I got a little bit ill, and then we just wanted to chill for a few days. And at that point, that was like, right, I have no responsibilities. There's nothing that we need to go and do or go and see. Like, we can just take each day and do whatever we want tomorrow. Like, that's probably the happiest that I've been.
Do you think happiness is a choice?
I mean, I'm gonna say yes because I've seen people who have like awful situations, and they are some of the happiest people in the world. So that might, yeah, a choice is an interesting. Yeah, choices. That's a hard one. Um, I'm gonna say yes, but also it doesn't mean that we need to choose to be happy all of the time. Like, as long as we are grateful for certain aspects day to day, certain, like, grateful for where we're at in life, then yeah.
I got your point. I think, I think all of us, we are aiming to be happy all the time or to try to be happy. I think it's a normal thing for us to look for. However, some days or some situations it's difficult to get happy facing some situations. Sometimes others doesn't have the opportunity to be happy for different reasons. I get your point, but it's a natural thing for us to try to be happy most of the time, for sure.
Yeah.
3 questions left. Let's do it. You like dancing?
So I started doing a bit of salsa a few years ago, and
Oh, wow.
I had to stop just because it was. So I did there was like level 2, level 3 classes. I'd done the level 2, and I was supposed to move up to the level 3, but that started when the level 2 class finished, and at the time, my schedule just didn't allow it. So I was like, I'm not going to sacrifice sleep for this thing that is just kind of a side hobby.
You can dance when you're doing jiu-jitsu with your moves.
Yeah. Before someone.
Before the next question, as you mentioned a few times about your trip, to South America, and I'm sure, 3 months in South America, I'm sure there was an experience for you that maybe you never experienced before. So I'm going to have 3 questions, based on that. First part of the question is, tell me a funny story that happened through those 3 months that, maybe a language barrier or maybe a situation or something that happened between those 3 months that was quite funny. The second part as well, tell me something that you saw it, something that maybe you presence that for you was like, wow, I never thought I would learn that. Something that you learned or something that for you was a wow moment. And the third part of the question is, something sad, something maybe, that you're not expecting, something that maybe touched your heart somehow. So 3 questions.
Okay. Funny, the first one that springs to mind is, again, I think it was somewhere in Bolivia so I'm allergic to nuts, and we'd gone to eat somewhere, and I'd forgotten to ask in Spanish, does this contain nuts? So the waiter brought over the food, and as he was putting it onto the table, I was like, oh, tienes nueces? I don't probably not the best Spanish. And the waiter looks at it, and then looks at me, and then goes, no, and then puts it on the table. And I'm like, no, can you go ask the chef, please? Yeah, so that was comical.
Did you eat in the end or not? Did you eat in the end or not?
I did, yeah, I did. I don't think you've come from Brazil. Do you believe in nut allergies over there? Because it seemed like every country we went to, they were like, "What is this nut allergy?"
It's funny saying that because, growing up, with all this allergy that we have now, like tolerant thing that we have, it's something that I never heard before growing up. For me, we think as something new, but exists. Maybe we had it, but wasn't something that wasn't educated or wasn't talk about it. Maybe wasn't a big thing.
Right.
But I get your point. Right. So the second part, something wow, that for you was like, my God, I never thought I would see that in my life or present something that happened to you during that time.
Something that really wowed me was a place called Huacachina in Peru. Do you know it?
No?
So Huacachina is this tiny little oasis village it looks like it's in the middle of the desert because there's one little tiny road that leads to a city over here. But if you look out that way, you could sit on the sand dune, see the sunset, and there's just nothing but sand dunes for as far as your eyes can see.
Wow.
That kind of blew me away. I was like, I never thought I'd ever experience this and just watching the sunset and being around sand dunes. What was the last one?
The last one, something maybe sad or something maybe that touched your heart, something that you saw, like a situation or, someone that for you was like, oh, that's something, maybe challenge to see or something sad, if there was any.
I suppose there was one kind of sad moment that, well, I say kind of, the thing that stood out to me the most was just the difference in like the difference in how people live. Like there were some places we went to in Peru and you could see how people were living and the disparity between that and what we have over here. Like again, that's part of why I'm so grateful is because I've seen how families can live and then just the
contrast, isn't it? You can see the contrast that sometimes you see people having a lot and some people they don't have that. I get your point for sure. And I get your point as well, and that's when you start realizing how much we have and sometimes we forget about it. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's not a bad thing, just for you it's like a wake up, oh my God, that's seeing that and being there. I think it's just something for us to be even more grateful that we have a lot. Sometimes you just forget.
100%. Yeah. And if you don't see it, then you often don't realize how good you have it.
Absolutely. Okay, next question is, what's the best compliment have you ever received?
Ooh, something about how good my jiu-jitsu is, probably.
Oh, wow.
No, the best compliment I've ever received, because I've been in school, I was the kid that was very shy, very not very chatty, not very outgoing. I was very introverted. After the first year at uni and just deciding to really change that aspect of myself, getting compliments from people saying that I'm just easy to talk to, get people to come out of their shell, like those are the compliments that for me are massive, and people telling me that I come across as confident because I know I haven't been in the past.
And when was this the turnaround that you start to become more confident about yourself, about your surrounding? Did something happen, or you just, the older you got, you started getting, you kind of got to that point to be more confident about you?
So there was one key moment. It was the first day of uni. I was about to walk into the lecture hall. I was late, of course. Everyone was already inside, and as I'd gone to open the door, I'd had this realization of, like, I can spend the next 3 years at uni exactly how I'd spent all the years at school and be shy and not speak to people, or I can just put on a bit of a mask, fake it till you make it sort of thing, and eventually I won't get so anxious speaking to people like who are brand new to me. So that was kind of a key turning point. I was like, I'm done with being this person.
Back to the question about compliments. People, they always compliment in your eyes, or you never got compliment regarding that?
My missus does, but I'm getting old now, so I feel like they're getting a bit milky rather than blue.
Interesting. Two questions left. Let's do it. Before the next question, of course, being a coach, you're dealing, as you mentioned before, you're dealing with people, personality, motivation as well. You are guiding people to get to the place where they're going to feel their best. And sometimes, people, our clients, people, that you deal with, sometimes they don't have the best positive energy. Sometimes we have our negative points as well, which can be reflected somehow in your work. My question for you is, there is a way for you to block that negative moment or negative energy for you not to take to your personal life, if you know what I mean? Or for you, it's just a way for you to, you just naturally just work through it?
That is a good question. I don't think I tend to block it out. I kind of, yeah, I don't really take it on either. As much as I get someone kind of opening up about what it is that they are feeling that way about, it's not something I usually take on unless I've had like several clients back to back that have all been like all sorts of situations going on, and then at that point, then it can maybe drain my energy.
Sure.
But yeah, it's not often that that actually happens. Yeah.
And when that happens, what do you do to recover your energy or somehow to get yourself back to your, normal being?
That's a good question. I don't really have a method of getting back there. I
Okay.
suppose I just let either sometimes I might need to just let myself wind down a little bit more in the evening, so I just have more time to decompress, or I do something that's gonna get my blood pumping, go to the gym just to get some endorphins going again.
I thought you would say, I'm going straight away to do some jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, I should have.
A joke, I'm just saying. Okay, next question is, which movie had a big influence on you?
Ooh. Okay. So in a in a kind of in a bad way, my parents used to watch a lot of horror movies, and then me as a kid, we would sit in the living room watching them together. Yeah, so we watched Jeepers Creepers one night, and that scared the life out of me for years. Um, a more positive movie is probably something like Saving Private Ryan, where it's just a very noble, like, yeah, certain sacrifices you make as a person to benefit other people, like that kind of stuck with me.
You're kind of person that prefer to watch movies at home, series, or you kind of person that love to go to the cinema to have the whole experience?
Cinema if it's a Marvel movie, otherwise, yeah.
I love Marvels.
Yeah.
Any favorites?
Captain America. That was like when I was getting into the gym a lot more. That was like my goal to look like Captain America. Um, Now it's probably more the Guardians of the Galaxy because it's just really good humor.
Yeah. Last question, ready?
Yeah, man.
Let's do it, last one. Okay, but for the last question, tell me what Jiu-Jitsu taught you so far.
Ooh. Jiu-Jitsu has really taught me how, more than anything, the the length of time it takes to become good at something. So I don't know any other sport, like especially a martial art, whether it's karate, boxing, whatever, to get to that absolute like black belt, yeah, like top tier sort of master level. Um, I think in jiu-jitsu the quickest you can get a black belt is like 10 years. That's an insane amount of time to put into something. So it's taught me to be very patient with building skills up and just to be very patient with outside of jiu-jitsu, like life and business.
Last question is, what will be the title of your memoir?
Ooh, I have no idea. The title of my memoir.
I have no idea is the answer. I'm joking.
That would be a good, that'd be a good title. I have no idea what I'm doing, and then just my life story.
And the whole book is being blank.
Yeah, but just like 2 pages.
People go like, my God, what's this? What's about? I have no idea. What that
To be fair, that'd be a good title. Yeah.
When you think about your life overall, or the place you are right now, there is something that stands out about if you could define, like a title, a word, or a phrase or something that would define you, what that would be based on your life experience.
I think maybe just be grateful.
Good one. Okay. After the blank, I have no idea. You watch the bank in the end. Be grateful.
Yeah.
I'm just teasing. Right, it's not the end yet. Let's play now the word association game. Okay, I'm going to give away some words. Just tell one word that comes to your mind. Quick thinking. Let's start with money.
Power.
Fear.
Ooh, death.
Family.
Caring.
Life.
Love.
Sex.
Rock and roll.
Religion.
War. Yeah.
Love.
Compassion.
Friendship.
Memories.
Politics.
The evil.
Desire.
Lust.
Regret.
Ooh. Just negativity, I feel.
Okay. Success.
Wealth.
Wish.
A genie.
I'm a genie in the bottle. Dun, dun. Happiness.
Ooh. Fulfillment.
One word for Coventry.
Grey.
One word for England.
Cooked. Like finished.
Okay. One word for fitness.
Necessary.
One word for jiu-jitsu.
Intellectual.
Like that. One word for coach.
Like guide.
Amazing. Okay. Let's pretend now I'm going to meet your girlfriend for a coffee, and I'm going to ask her, what's the most beautiful thing about Bradley? And what's something that he still needs to work on? He still needs to make a difference. What that would be?
I think she would say the most, maybe not most beautiful thing about me, but I think the first thing that would come to her mind would be the communication aspect between us. Like I know we've not been together that long. It's been like a year and a half, but
Okay.
we don't argue. We just discuss things. There's no situations where we have ever felt like we've been like the pressure has built up or we've been getting angry or aggressive. It's always just been good communication.
Amazing.
And something that I'm not so good at is something I'm getting better at is when she just needs to offload and I'm there being like, oh, you should be like, it's not the end of the world. And she's like, just let me have a moan.
You are too grateful, Bradley. Already, you're too grateful. Right. Let's play now, Bradley, in the magic box, and you can ask me a question. Before you ask me the question, I'm going to ask a question in 2 parts. The first part of the question is, tell me a situation through your career as a coach that so far, touched your heart, or, stuck to you, that you're never going to forget. A situation, a moment that you could share. And the other part of the question is, people watching this interview right now, or maybe people would like to connect with you or to have you as a coach. What's something that stands out, that the work that you provide, that stands out compared with other coaches around the world? 2 questions.
So the moment that stands out a lot for me is that one of my old clients, he wasn't in the worst relationship, but his partner wasn't the most supportive. He was trying to quit smoking, not eat as much stuff, like not eat as much like high calorie foods. He was trying to get more into fitness and have better coping mechanisms, but then his partner would come home with bags of sweets for like a movie night, would buy him packs of cigarettes because they thought he needed like cheering up. So it just wasn't the most, it wasn't the most helpful partner. I don't want to say toxic, but it did feel like his partner was doing these things deliberately to stop him from changing who he was as a person. So to see him go from having drinking loads of alcohol and smoking for his coping mechanisms, to getting into the gym and genuinely enjoying, because he had a PT before, he had a coach before, and he didn't enjoy the gym as much as after he was with me. He really just solidified his identity in it and started using that as his coping mechanism for stress. And then ended up separating from his partner, and now he's with someone else and he's very happy. So that's definitely a big standout moment.
Amazing. And second part of the question, what's something that stands out about the job that you provide that stands out compared with others around the world, other coaches?
I would say me as a person, because as coaches we are like unique selling point, our USP, but me being the compassion that I have and the empathy, I'm not someone who's ever been overweight, but the feelings that I've had in terms of my insecurities, my low confidence, my low self-esteem, they're all feelings that even if they're a fraction of what someone else has, I don't want someone else to go through that, and that's why I started coaching. So as much as I might not have had the same situations exactly, I can relate to the feelings, and I think that makes me, the right person to go to, depending on who you are.
I see. You come across a very calm person. Are you this way, Bradley? Calm, I mean, comforting. Do you always been this way, or am I wrong?
I mean, when I was a teenager, I was probably a lot more losing my head, mostly at FIFA and video games, because I was just an angry teenager. But
right.
From that point, once I got past the hormonal stages, I've just been quite calm, like water, and quite grateful.
What's your star sign astrology?
Scorpio, I believe.
Oh my God, which day?
4th of November.
I'm 17th of November, Scorpio.
17th, okay.
Yeah, with Scorpio, we are very intense, literally very intense. That's one of the part of Scorpio, for sure. Okay, you can ask me a question now, Bradley.
So I was wondering, instead of thinking into the past, let's think into the future. What's everything you want to do with your life? What are the things you want to accomplish?
Wow, great question, very deep question. You know what? I think that it's something that I really would love to be in the future. It's to have, working in this project, the Magic Box, having a full-time job. I've got other projects as well connected with this one, which I can't wait to put it out and to explore more about it. And I think, based on your question, I think that when you do something with passion, when you do something that feels, your personality, makes you the best person. For example, here is the best William you're having right now. When I'm here, is the best Will you can have. So I think when you do something that you don't see as a job, you don't see as something that you said about, oh, I need to start it again, it's another week or something like that. However, I believe that all of us, we can do different things in life and still be happy. You know what I mean? I think the human being, we can, have the talent of doing different things in life and feel the greatest, feel the happiest. But based on your question, it's something, so the magic box is something that came somehow, came into my life, and it meant to be for me, and something that I want to do, as forever. Like if I want to, to explore other projects as well, I would like to be able to, to do more interviews, even more, and because it brings the best of me, Bradley. I'm sure when you are coaching, it's the same feeling you are coaching people. You know what I mean? This feeling that you are helping someone, or you are doing something that you leave in your signature in the world, you just connect with people. And I think that's the place that brings me the best of me. When I know that I'm going to be here, I have no idea. When I send the Zoom invite, and I feel so excited to see who, I know the person I'm going to, connect with. I just feel like, my God, it's so exciting for me to, to see my guest here on the show, because it's a moment that we're going to make memory, we're going to exchange experience, we're going to learn, we're going to teach, we're going to be in a place where, people, it's just a moment here. So imagine for me to be able to sit here and meeting thousands of people around the world. You have no idea how grateful I feel about being grateful. That's for me feeling as well. I feel grateful from every interview I do here on the show. So yeah, based on your question, I think when I see my life like in the future, I see myself, doing the same, maybe in a different format, maybe in a different way, but the same soul, the same, journey, the same vibe that I have here on the show. It's something that I can picture myself doing that in the future. And so, yeah, that's my answer for you. I think it's something that, it's funny you ask that, because, through my life, I always admire people. I have people around me, they go like, my friends, they go like, oh my God, William, I love my job, I love this career, I love this. And I was like, my God, how does it feel? How does it feel like having this feeling? And I always admire people, like, my God, it must be so nice for you to wake up every morning, having a purpose in life, knowing that you're gonna do something that you're gonna help. Again, you can do different things and still be happy. But I was always asking myself, in 2020, for me was the same, was exactly when this idea came along. I went for a run in the park. Remember, we could leave the house once a day for exercise. Yeah. So I was going for a run in the park once a day. And one of this run, this idea came along. I remember the moments, I remember the place, because I stopped for a minute. I was like, oh my God, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to create a show where I can, research some questions. I can, research and create some question and ask people around the globe to see their opinion, their point of views. So that's how it started, through a run in the park. And I think that's, yeah, I'm just going to run a little bit of your question. But yes, based on your question, that's something that I picture myself doing in the future. The magic box in a different way or different format or the project, but something with the same path for sure. Yeah.
Nice, man. I love that. I love that it came about during COVID as well.
And I'm so grateful for that time. Of course, COVID was very sad. Everyone, including myself, I found myself in a very dark place at the time, because, we didn't know what was happening. It was very hard, difficult. But at the same time as well, a lot of beautiful things came along, a lot of beautiful things. And for me, I need to be locked for me to explore my personality, my ego, my feelings, because I'm so grateful for that moment, because I felt the worst at the time as well. This beautiful journey started at the same time. So I'm very grateful for that time of the COVID time. I'm very grateful because of that. It wasn't easy, for sure, for a lot of people, most of the people. However, a lot of people started something nice or beautiful, or they changed their career, or a lot of things happened during that time. So yeah, that's my answer for you, Bradley. It's something that I'm talking to you and I can picture myself there in the future.
Nice, man. Nice. You sound like a very grateful person as well. Where
Oh,
does this come from?
I can tell you straight away. Straight away. When I was 7 year old, I think 6 or 7 year old, my grandmother, I feel a bit emotional because it was a powerful moment. She passed away already. We were very close, and she came up to me and said, "William, come here." I was like, "Oh, hi." She said, "Look, I'm gonna tell you something now." Look, I started shaking because it's so emotional for me. She said to me, "Look, every morning when you wake up, you know, have a moment to yourself that be grateful for everything, for people that are gonna come in your life, everything. Have this moment with yourself. And when you go to bed, you have this moment as well. This moment, just don't, I always pray, but you can have, it's not like a praise, just like have this moment with yourself about your day that you had, that you're alive, you have your family, you have friends around you. So have this moment every morning. And she said, trust me, nothing bad's gonna happen to you. You're gonna have challenges, you're gonna have a lot of things, but if you do that every single morning, you have this moment of gratitude, trust me, nothing gonna hit you. Since that day, Bradley, when I was 6, 7 year old, every morning when I wake up, before I stand up, I have this briefly moment about myself of gratitude, of being grateful for another day. That's why when I told you in the beginning of the interview that I'm an early bird, because when I wake up in the morning, as soon as I leave my building, when I have this fresh air, for me, I feel so great. I feel, my God, it's a new day starting now. And I think it's because of
Mm,
that, because I have this moment of gratitude, before I start my day. So I start feeling grateful for the day starting right now. And I never realized that. I just realized when people start asking those questions, as you just said about being grateful. And I said, my God, why is that? And I start asking myself why. And I think it's because of that. I have this moment. So I'm very grateful for my grandmother that she taught me that very young age, you know what I mean, about having this moment. So yes, since that day until now, and I'm gonna, do forever, I have these moments before I stand up. I go like, okay, another day. Thanks for another day. I feel grateful for people around me as well. Not just me, but people who gonna cross my life. For some is I always had this personality at this moment about being of gratitude. It's not, at the time I even didn't understand when she told me. I even didn't understand about gratitude, grateful. I didn't understand at the time, but she
mm,
already was. She put that in my life, even not if I didn't know the meaning. She just said to me, "Do that every morning, and you're gonna be protected." You know what I mean? She said that, and for me, I thought it was just something that maybe everyone was doing it. You know what I mean? That for me, as a child, I said, "Oh, maybe I need to learn this lesson because everyone is doing the same." You know what I mean? As a child, but now when I look back, she was very. She was very right about that. I think she knew what she was doing at the time. So yeah, so I always had this grateful gratitude, personality or moments because of that. That's how it started for sure.
nice, man. Your grandmother sounds very wise.
Yeah, she was for sure amazing.
That's very cool, man. Yeah, that is very cool.
Did you enjoy the interview, Bradley?
Yeah, I've loved it. Genuinely. Thank you very much. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thanks again. Thanks for taking the time. Thanks for being so kind and so sweet and accepting the invitation. And also, I like this approach that you have about being grateful, gratitude. And I think that's what the highlight of the interview was about that. I think all of us, it makes a difference when you are grateful for little things. Sometimes you don't need to be grateful for a lot, but being grateful for a glass of water that you have every day or something that you have, that it makes a difference in our lives. And I'm sure you know that very well. So I like that. I like this approach. And also I like as well about the jiu-jitsu. I think it's something very big that a lot of people they talk about. And I like when to talk about that as well because it get back to my roots where I come from Brazil. So it's amazing to hear. Before you go, if you can share a positive message or anything that you live by.
Ooh, a positive message. I don't know if it's a I don't know if it's a positive message, but one of my favorite quotes is if nothing changes, nothing changes. So
Mhm.
that sticks with me because it forces you to think, right, if you do need to like if you want to make a change, if you want something to be different, then you need to behave differently.
Totally get your point for sure. Thanks again, regards to your girlfriend, to your family and friends, and you keep in touch. It was a pleasure having you on the show, okay? Take care. Have a great
Thank
day.
you, William.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Take care. So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first, subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com, and send us a request saying why do you like to be part of the show. And I see you there. Bye-bye. See you next time.